Perhaps the most burning question for someone who wants to become a book coach is how you're going to get clients. In the following slides, I'll walk you through the framework that we use to teach people how to do this, and I'll share some real-life examples to give you an idea what other book coaches have done. There are 5 core steps in getting book coaching clients. Step 1 is to define your ideal client. The biggest mistake new book coaches make is thinking that they will be serving writers. You have to be much more specific than this. Are they new writers, seasoned writers, academic writers, business writers, writers looking to publish one book or a series, writers looking to earn a full-time living from their writing, or just finally do this thing that they've always said they wanted to do? And you also need to know exactly where in the process you're meeting them. Do they need help starting or finishing or revising? Do they need help knowing their point and their purpose? Is it that they keep getting rejected because people can't relate to their protagonist? Have they gone to 47 writing conferences, received inquiries from 27 agents, and still haven't found the courage to pitch their work? You have to think about this client as a person and as a writer. You have to know who they are on an emotional level, a creative level, an intellectual level, and an entrepreneurial level. All the levels. This is way easier said than done because it's about saying no, and many new coaches don't want to close the door on anyone. The problem with not choosing is that not choosing is also a choice. Not choosing is saying, I will help anyone who knocks on my door. I will help anyone who's willing to pay me. I will help anyone who believes that I can help them. Maybe this sounds generous and welcoming. You shall help all the people. But here's what happens. Someone hears you're a book coach and hears that the person you helped in your practicum training landed an agent. This actually happens somewhat frequently. And so this person approaches you and wonders if you can help them. But the writer you helped in your practicum training was an entrepreneur who was writing a book about the microfarm movement in which neighbors grow and share fresh herbs with neighbors instead of buying the kind packaged in plastic clamshells. Your practicum training was in nonfiction, and you're super jazzed about helping other entrepreneurs who are running climate-sustaining businesses. You feel that helping them spread their messages and grow their client base can make an impact on climate change. But the writer coming to you wants to write about living next door to the Unabomber. The book about the Unabomber is a great idea. It actually is a book written by a writer who worked with one of our coaches. And you know you can help this person. You know you can help them understand their point and their structure, their audience, and their marketplace position. So you say, yes, I can help. But you realize that the process you use to help the microfarmer doesn't work for the Unabomber neighbor. The microfarmer was starting from zero on a book proposal, and the Unabomber neighbor has 120 pages of a manuscript written, and you need to determine if that manuscript is holding together. It's as if you're in a whole different country, speaking a whole different language, and using a whole different currency. Should you charge the same price for each of these projects? Should you go through the same process? Who knows? If you repeat this for every client you work with, you're making up a customized service every time, which takes so long and also prevents you from having any systems or processes that would make things more efficient and easeful for you and your clients. Of course, if it's critical for you to make money in your business right at the start, you will work with anybody that you can. You will compromise in order to build your experience and build your muscle and build your business and make money. I did that, and lots of coaches do it. It's fine for now. But over time, in order to market your business, you need to work towards the place of choosing. You have to get to the place where you can tell the Unabomber neighbor that you are not the perfect book coach for them, but you know someone else who is. You have to get to the place where you choose. Questions to ask to help you define your ideal client include, what is your ideal client writing? Where are they in the book development process? Where are they in their career as a writer? What kind of person are they in terms of demographics? What kind of person are they in terms of psychographics? What are they struggling with and why? And you want to be very specific here. How can you help them? And again, you want to be very specific. The reason that we ask you to be so specific about your ideal client is that it puts you in your zone of genius. Your zone of genius is the place where you're doing work that you love. It absolutely lights you up. You love the clients you work with, you love the way that you can help and assist them, and you're providing a service that's valuable for them, which means that you've defined an outcome that they need and want, and that they recognize that they need and want. the service also needs to be sustainable for you to offer, meaning you need to make enough money to continue to run your business. The key to being in your zone of genius is choosing an ideal client. Step 2 in getting book coaching clients is to make something free or inexpensive to help your ideal client solve a clear and present problem. This step is part of a marketing concept known as the know, like, trust factor. Your ideal client needs to know who you are and what you do. They need to like who you are, and they need to trust that you can help them solve the problem that they're having. If you make them something that shows them these things, you're one step closer to having them sign up to work with you. Ideas for what you might make include a cheat sheet, something to help writers leap over an initial problem or challenge. A guide, something that shows writers a path forward through a sticky situation. A webinar or summit, which is a live teaching session to explain or inform. A mini course, which is a self-guided set of lessons to explain or inform. A quiz, which is an interactive experience that explains or informs. A challenge, which is an experience that prompts immediate action. A mini coaching session, which is a coaching experience that explains or informs. There are an endless number of things that you can make to serve your ideal client, and again, it depends completely on who that client is and how you intend to help them. What I'm actually doing here in these videos is that I've made something for my ideal client. I know that my ideal client doesn't know a lot about book coaching. I know that one of the things they're most nervous about is finding clients, so I'm making this video. I'm also making the other videos to answer the things that I know about my ideal client. This is all in service of helping people feel comfortable making a choice to seek our training and to sign up for a program that takes a lot of time, effort, energy, and money. The third step in getting book coaching clients is to share what you made. So you start with friends and family, and you widen the circle to fellow writers, and then people who serve the writers that you want to serve, and then maybe people you follow on social media. My friend Dan Blank calls this human-centered marketing. You think about people. You think about offering what you do to actual people that you know and people that they know. If you think of marketing as some giant black hole that you have to shout into, you're not going to want to do it. But if you think of it as connecting humans to something that these humans need, it feels a whole lot better. Ideas for where you can share include local schools, libraries, bookstores, and writing centers. Online communities where your ideal clients gather. Friends and colleagues who are already serving your ideal client. Social media, and I would suggest you pick one to start focusing on. And your own newsletter going out to your own list of followers, which is a key to running any online business. Even if you start with 5, 10, or 50 people on your newsletter list, they're the ones who have invited you into their inbox. They're the ones who are really listening, and they're going to be grateful for what you share. Once you start sharing in this way and keep sharing in this way, you'll build confidence in reaching out to bigger communities. Author Accelerator book coaches have presented and partnered with some of the biggest names in the business. They're writing guest posts for the most popular writing newsletter. They're presenting at the biggest writing conferences. They're landing guest spots on awesome podcasts. And for every one of them, it all started with the steps that I'm going through here. Step 4 is to invite your ideal clients to work with you. You actually have to ask people to join you. This is a part of the process that is known as sales. We have found that this invitation is something a lot of book coaches leave out. They might give an awesome free webinar to a great audience and then forget to say, this is what I do, this is how I can help you, this is what it costs, would you like to do it? That invitation doesn't have to be yucky or scary or gross or pushy, but it does have to be there. People need to be asked, and there are systems and processes for doing that. Step 5 is to do excellent work. This is absolutely the best way to get book coaching clients. If you help one person with their problem, they're going to tell other people, and they're going to tell other people, and so on. If you have defined your ideal client and defined services that can help them with a clear and present problem, you will get more clients. There are a lot of writers in the world that need a lot of help, and you only need somewhere between 12 and 24 clients to have a very good first year as a book coach. You don't need thousands. You just do excellent work for one person at a time, and that's the way this starts. I want to share 3 case studies from Author Accelerator certified book coaches to show you how they've put these 5 steps into practice. Example 1 is Danny Abernathy at DannyAbernathy.com. This is Danny, and this is how she tends to show up on social media. I'll explain in a minute. So Danny's ideal client are novelists who are interested in self-discovery and writing for good. What she means by writing for good is, quote, writing for good means writing for greater understanding, connection, love, and justice for people of all races, classes, sizes, genders, orientations, minds, bodies, end quote. This is a very specific client, and they have a very specific need, which is to be in community with other people doing that same work. Step 2 is Danny invites people to a 3-hour workshop called The Art of Emotionally Impactful Storytelling, which is free. Emotional storytelling is a key part of what she teaches. She focuses on the emotional journey of the protagonist and the emotional journey of the writer. So this free workshop is a perfect thing for her to offer. Step 3 is that she shares stories about the emotional journey of writing on Instagram. Those pictures that we just saw of her are photos she shares of her own self. She often posts pictures of herself when she's frustrated or crying or having a bad day, so she's modeling that emotional vulnerability that she's helping her writers with. It's a perfect way of inviting people into her universe. Step 4 is that once people attend her workshop, she invites them into a year-long mentorship program. This is a robust and intensive program priced at $3,800 a year. It's a group coaching program for her ideal client to embrace, plan, and write a novel they're proud of. Step 5 is that Danny does excellent work. She has a great reputation, she fills her program, and she's running a thriving business. Example number 2 is Amy Eiseman at amyeiseman.com. In contrast to Danny Abernathy, Amy Eiseman does not depend on Instagram or any social media to run her business. This is a post from Instagram, and I've circled the part where she says, I am committing to radical inconsistency when it comes to social media. She's on there, but it is not the place where she grows her business, and she's proof that you do not need to use social media at all if you don't choose to. Amy still follows the 5 steps we've just gone through, and here they are. Amy's ideal client is an entrepreneur who wants to teach their framework to a wider audience. What she's made for those people is a clarity session. It's $122, and it is a short session to help clarify their idea. She shares this clarity session by networking with people in her tiny Nevada town. She lives in a very small town in the middle of nowhere, and she built a great business in that very small town. She did this by talking about what she does and who she does it for, by inviting them into these clarity sessions, and by asking them to spread the word to people that they knew in their business communities. It worked beautifully. Once people do a clarity session with her, she invites them to 3 sessions of one-on-one coaching for $1,500. In these sessions, she goes deeper into helping them plan out their book. Amy does excellent work, and she too is building a thriving business in a very different way than Danny. Example 3 is Savannah Gilbo at savannahgilbo.com. Savannah serves novelists who are serious about publishing but stuck. She offers a story starter kit for free, which is a download to help people start their writing journey. She shares this on Pinterest and also has a podcast. Once they download the Story Starter Kit, she invites them to a DIY course, which is $997, or one-on-one coaching, which is either $799 a month or $1,199 a month. Savannah also does excellent work and has built a killer reputation. These are some of her Pinterest posts, and she's been writing this kind of very helpful thing for years now. And her podcast is not just a little podcast. She has more than 1.8 million downloads, and her podcast has become one of the powerhouses in this business. Savannah is an incredibly inspiring example of someone who's built a fabulous business. And if you go to her website and check her out, you'll see these 5 steps very clearly displayed there. Her ideal client is clear. She has a free offer for them. She invites them deeper into her process. She shares generously on Pinterest and on her podcast, and the result is a powerhouse business that's making a really big impact on this industry. Realizing that you're going to have to go out there and get clients is a scary part of this work for sure. If it's not something you've done before, it may feel very daunting. I can promise you it is a learnable skill. If you can find an authentic way to connect with the people that you want to help, you're going to do just fine at this. You don't have to put yourself into an uncomfortable situation. If you don't want to be on social media, you don't have to. The goal is to find a way that works for you and then to consistently work at it as you build your business and your reputation.